Welcome, children. So here, Don Gonzalo was using his handkerchief as shoe brush, and they confused. Donna Laura confused whether to know whether this fellow is using, not person, even she considered him so mean. Fellow is using a shoe brush as handkerchief. Maybe confused, or she asked ironically, she asked whether he was using a handkerchief as he was using a handkerchief as a shoe brush, whether he was using a shoe brush as handkerchief. So, but this Don Gonzalo, a peculiar nature person, he again and again told that he was not the one to listen all such nonsenses because it was none of her business. He wanted to divert his attention and asked Johnny to give his spectacles, and he considered that she was telling a nonsense. So he requested her, "Pardon me, Senora, but never interfere with what does not concern you." So I generally say what I think. She's another peculiar character. Normally, these people who are 70 plus or 60 plus may be of the same character. Okay. The more the same effect. Give me the book, Johnito. He asked Johnito to give his book, and then giving the book, he exists by his right. Don Gonzalo, he casting indignified glances at Donna Laura. Indignified. So she's useless. She's senseless. So just ignore her. With that thought, just casting indignified looks at Donna Laura, he puts in an enormous pair of glasses. Enormous means very big of glasses, takes from his pocket a reading glass, adjusts both to suit him, and opens his book. Single glass is not enough for him to read because his eyesight was so poor. Donna Laura. She was not the lady to give up so easily. She was again willing to push his leg. "I thought you were taking out a telescope," she said. Don Gonzalo, "Was that you?" Donna Laura, "Your sight must be keen." "Keener than yours is," says Don Gonzalo. "Yes, evidently." Evidently means surely. Surely. Don Gonzalo says, "My eyesight is keener than you." Surely. Don Gonzalo. "Ask the hares and partridges." Hare means big rabbit. Rabbit family. Big rabbit means not the two category of rabbits are there. Hare means the rabbits which normally live in forests, and wild rabbit we used to say big rabbit. Hares and partridges. Partridges means a small brown bird with a short tail. Normally to shoot, to check his aim, to check his strength. Yeah. Partridges. "Oh, do you hunt?" she asked. Sorry. "I did, and even now I was hunting, and even now I hunt," says Donna Laura. "Oh, yes, of course." "Yes, Senora." Senora means madam. "Yes, madam. Every Sunday I used to go for hunting. I take my gun and dog, you understand, and go to one of my estates near Aravaka and kill time." So anyhow, an aged person, he had no work to do at home. So every Sunday, to have a fresh mood, to refresh his mood, he used to go to Aravaka and kill time. So Aravaka is a neighboring city of Madrid. Aravaka is a neighboring city of Madrid. Donna Laura. "Yes. Kill time. You can't kill anything because your eyesight I am observing, no. So kill time. That's all you can kill. You can't kill anything else," she says. "Do you think so? I could show you a wild boar's head in my study room." Wild boars means wild pig. Yeah. "Do you think so? I could show you a wild boar's head in my study She never allows him to complete study room. Donor. Yes, yes. And I could show you a tiger skin in my boudoir. Boudoir means a woman's private room, dressing room, or private room. Boudoir means a woman's private room. What does that prove? Does it prove that I am a hunter and I killed a tiger? How nonsensical you are. Indirectly she says. She wants to pull his leg. Don Gonzalo. Very well, Senora. Please allow me to read. Enough conversation. He never wanted to continue this nonsensical conversation. He wanted to read. So, enough. Please allow me to read, he says. Well, you subside then. Subside means die down. Die down means gradually fade off. Subside means gradually fade off. 1 minute. Here, die down. Yeah, you do whatever you want. Instead of that, she used a rough word, that's it. Don Gonzalo. But first I take a pinch of snuff. Takes out snuff box. Will you have some? Yes. A pinch of snuff. He had the habit of using snuff. Snuff means tobacco powder, which the people used to take that, inhale that through nose. Yeah. But first I'll take a pinch of snuff because I want to clear my head. You spoiled it. So he didn't say so, but indirectly, which means the same. First I shall take a pinch of snuff. Will you have? See his good nature. And also, normally, those who used to smoke, those who used to drink hot drinks. Hot drinks means not coffee or tea. Yeah. Then these people who used to use snuff and all, they used to offer for those who are sitting next to them. Maybe friends or unknown ones. Yeah. Offers box to Donna Laura. If it is good, her stubbornity she didn't leave. If it is good, she styles herself. It's of the finest, you will like it, says Don Gonzalo. He didn't leave his innocency again. He wants to share that snuff with her. So he says, it's good, it's the finest, you will like it. So Donna Laura, he also has the habit of having snuff. So she takes a pinch of snuff. It clears my head, Donna Laura says. She also just jowled her mind. So she also used to she also thought of taking snuff to clear her mind. Don Gonzalo, and mine? Do you sneeze? Donna Laura asks. Yes, Senora, 3 times. After anything, if you put inside the nose, you will sneeze. But these people are putting this tobacco powder inside their nose. They had to. Okay, anyhow, he says, yes, Senora, 3 times. And so I do. Even I also sneeze 3 times. What a coincidence. Coincidence means 2 incidents which takes place at a time. They are called coincidence. After taking the snuff, they await the sneezes, both anxiously and sneeze alternately 3 times each. There I feel better. Don Gonzalo, after sneezing 3 times, taking the snuff and sneezing 3 times, says that he feels better. Donna Laura, so I do. Even I feel better. Aside, the snuff has made peace between us. We were quarreling. This snuff, a pinch of snuff, this has made peace among us, between us, she says. I corrected this among to between. Can you say why? Among is used when there are more than 2 people. Between is used when there are only 2 people. Got it? Here only 2, so it should be between only, not among. Among means there should be more than 2. Got it? Yes. Small grammatical clues. The snuff has made peace between us. Don Gonzalo, you'll excuse me if I read aloud? Won't disturb, I think. It won't disturb you, I think. I have the habit of reading aloud. You will excuse me if I read aloud? He asked. Read as loud as you please. You will not disturb me. Yeah, I have a mic also, no problem. Read as much as you can, as you want. It won't disturb me, she says. Don Gonzalo reading. All love is sad, but sad as it is, it's the best thing that we know. That is from Camphormer. Camphormer is a Spanish writer. Camphormer is a Spanish writer. The quotes from his writing series. All love is sad, but sad as it is, it's the best thing that we know. Don Gonzalo reading. The daughters of the mothers I once loved kiss me now as they would a graven image. The daughters of the mothers I once loved. My lover's daughters. Got it? The daughters of the mothers I once loved kiss me now as they would a graven image. They kissed me now as a graven image of my past love. Those lines, I take it, are in a humorous vein. Donald laughing. I take them so too, she says. Don Gonzalo. There are some beautiful poems in this book here. 20 years pass, he returns. Just think of very close to this skit also. There are some beautiful poems in this book here. 20 years pass, he returns. Donna Laura, you can't imagine how it affects me to see you reading with all those glasses. She never bothers about the poem or writings or the quotes or the lines, etc. She says, you can't imagine how it affects me to see you reading with all those glasses. Don Gonzalo asks, can you read without any glass? Certainly. At your age, you are jesting. You are not telling truth. You are making me a fool. Pass me the book then. I'll show you. Pass me the book then. Takes the book, reads aloud. 20 years pass, he returns, and each, beholding the other, exclaims. And each one, 20 years past, he returns, and each, beholding the other, exclaims, can it be that this is he? Heavens, is it she? Because in that original poem, the age influenced both unbelievably that one couldn't identify the other at all. So much the time has influenced them, because 20 years is not a small gap. It can change a person, a youth to old, an old to deathbed, a young to youth. No? So here, can it be that this is he? Heavens, is it she? Donna Laura returns the book to Don Gonzalo. Indeed, I envy your wonderful eyesight. I am jealous of your keen eyesight. Essay. I know every word by heart. She used to read this again and again. As she used to read these lines again and again, she know every line by heart. So she read. I am very fond of good verses, very fond, Don Gonzalo says. I am very fond of good verses, very fond. I even composed some in my youth. So, I like to read, and even I composed, he says. Again, she just pulls his legs. Good ones? Did you compose good ones? Don Gonzalo, he is very reasonable. Of all kinds. Some may be good, some may be normal, medium, some may be worst. But of all kinds. I was a great friend of Espronceda. Espronceda is a Spanish writer. Zorilla, Bacquer, and others. I first met Zorilla in America. He names some of the Spanish writers whom he knew at his young age. Of all kinds, I used to compose all kinds of verses. Some may be good, some may be best, some may be worse, some may be medium. But I was a great friend of Espronceda, Zorilla, Backward, and others. I first met Zorilla in America. Donald, why? Have you been in America? Don Gonzalo, several times. The first time I went, I was only 6 years old. Many times I went to America. First time when I went to America, I was only 6 years old. He says the fact. But he asked this question ironically, he never noticed it. Donna Laura, you must have gone with Columbus in one of his caravels. She again pulls his leg. You must have gone to America with Columbus in one of his caravels. Caravels? Wagons. Don Gonzalo. He takes these words so sportively, he laughs. Laughingly says, not quite as bad as that. I'm old, I admit. So when Columbus discovered America, not so old I am. Not quite as bad as that. I'm old, I admit, but I did not know Ferdinand and Isabella. I'm not that age where the Ferdinand and Isabella were living. Not of that age. I'm old, I admit, but I didn't go to America with the Vasco, whose Columbus wagon. I was also a great friend of Campomer. I met him in Valencia. I am a native of that city. Valencia is a third largest city of Spain. I am also a great friend of Campomer. I met him in Valencia. I am a native of that city. You are, she wonders. This word Valencia had some attraction. Don Gonzalo, I was brought up there and there I spent my early youth. Of course, I brought up there and there I spent my early youth also. Have you ever visited that city? Yes. So you wonders now, why have you visited that city? He asks. Don Laura, yes, Senor. Not far from Valencia, there was a villa that, if still there, should retain memories of me. Valencia, she knew very well because it's a native city of Donna Laura also. She says, yes, Senor. Not far from Valencia, there was a villa. Villa means house. Villa, if still there, should retain memories of me. I spent several seasons there. Years, several seasons there. It was many years ago. It was near the sea, hidden away among lemon and orange trees. They called it, let me see, what did they call it? Marisella. Marisella is a place. She recalls the memory of her young age. The place Marisella and the villa where she spent many seasons or many years, and the sea very close to that villa, and the lemon and orange trees between this sea and this villa. So pleasant memories she had of that area, and she tries to recall that name of that area, and at last she gets it as Marisella. Don Gonzalo, Marisella. Startled means shocked with surprise. Donna Laura. Maricela, is the name familiar for you? When Don Gonzalo started with the name Maricela, she confused. She also wondered to some extent. She was so shocked to some extent. Maricela, is the name familiar to you? She asked Don Gonzalo. Yes, very familiar. He also goes to his youth days. If my memory serves me right, for we forget as we grow old. There lived in that villa the most beautiful woman I have never ever seen. And I assure you I have seen many. Let me see. What her name? Laura Lorenta. Now it was Donna Laura's turn to startle. Laura Lorenta? Laura Laurent is the pronunciation, Spanish pronunciation. And in English, they used to Laura Lorente. Okay, Laura Laurent. Yes, very familiar. If my memory serves me right, I remember that villa. I remember Maricela. I remember Maricela together that villa. And there lived the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Of course, I have seen many women, but she was the most beautiful one among all. And it was near the sea. And I assure you I have seen many. Let me see. What is her name? He's not getting the name so easily. Laura, just Laura he remembers. Laura Laurent. Laura Laurent. Now it was the turn of Donna Laura to get shocked. Laura Laurent? Yes, they look at each other intently. Now, Laura understands, notices, identifies that he is Gonzalo, but Gonzalo needs still more time to identify that she is Laura herself. Donna Laura, recovering herself. Nothing. You reminded me of my best friend. She is not ready to accept immediately that she herself is Laura Laurenti. She says that you reminded me of my best friend. How strange. It's strange. She was called the Silver Maiden. The more explanation about this Laura Laurent is given by Donna Laura. It's strange. She was called the Silver Maiden. Don Gonzalo. Precisely, the Silver Maiden. But that name she was known in that locality. That name, Silver Maiden. By that name only she was well known in that locality. So beautiful she was. Precisely she was called the Silver Maiden. I seem to see her as if she were before me now, at that window with the red roses. Do you remember that window? I feel that I could see her in front of me just even now with red roses. So he recalls his youth and recalls Laura Laurent, whom he loved once and for whom he was ready to fight with anybody. So just like was the love. I seem to see her as if she were before me now. He uses the she were instead of she was because he thinks that it's impossible for him to see her, Laura Laurent, in front of him. When using these impossibilities, instead of singular, we use plural. Got it? Small grammatical clue again. It seems to see her as if she were before me now, at that window with the red roses. Do you remember that window? Yes, I remember. It was the window of her room. Yes, she was standing near the window with red roses. I remember the window still. It was her room's window. She spent many hours there, in my day. She has spent many hours there. She was sitting near the window in my day, he says. Laura, sighing, and in mind too. That means even myself also. She also recalls her youth days. Sighing before, sighing means take a long breath of sorrow. Take a long breath of sorrow. Sighing in mind too. I remember her. I'll continue in the next class.